Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is a TV special that first aired back in 1964, and it's become such a classic that it's just one of those things that comes out during Christmas, but it comes out more than once. I mean, I remember one year I watched it on CBS like 8 times. And I remember growing up with this movie, feeling like it was a big event, you know, like whenever Wizard of Oz would come on. We all know the song, so we all know the story. The only difference between the song and this cute little animated movie is just that there's a couple of certain subplots that were added in to make the film just a little bit longer. You know, like an elf who wants to be a dentist, or an entire island of toys that are, well, different from normal toys. Looking back at this little cute animated TV special, you know, going from being a child to an adult as well as a film critic, you know what? This is still a really good, this is a really good Christmas movie. I really love this movie. I mean, Rudolph is just a really good character that you really feel for, and you just latch onto, and you just feel for him every single time he goes through some extremely hard situation. And then you've got his friend Hermie, the elf who wants to be a dentist, and growing up, I didn't initially know how to feel about Hermie. I do remember sometimes I would find him a bit annoying, but rewatching it this year, I thought, you know what, he's okay. He's nothing amazing, but he's still a good character. Although I will admit, I always crack up during his intro whenever he just says,
"Someday I'd like to be a dentist."
I do have to say that I don't think Hermie is an elf, and that's for 2 reasons. The first one's kind of convoluted. Like, kind of a stupid reason for you to think that he's not an elf, but I'll just get that out of the way and then get to the next, or to the main part. But look at all the male elves. He's the only one with hair. Let's start with that. Like I said, a really stupid reason. But the real reason is because look at all their ears. They're pointy. Hermie has round ears. Just saying. The other characters in this film are pretty memorable and lovable, you know, like Yukon Cornelius and the Abominable Snowman. Oh, well, not so much adorable, so much as memorable. And actually, sometimes... Okay, there is actually one character in this movie that I absolutely hate. And I didn't realize that I hated them until I got a little bit older, like around high school age. And every time I talk to people about this movie, they are kind of confused, because they're just like, what the fuck? I tell them that I hate this person, and they act like what I said was blasphemous, so I'm just gonna get out of the way. For Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the 1964 version, I fucking hate Santa. There, I said it. I hate this version of Santa. He comes across as an asshole in general. He doesn't support Rudolph at first, and actually sees his nose as a handicap. The only time that he accepts the nose is when it benefits his agenda. So yeah, that's a bit of a strange moral for the story. The original story was basically about finding your place in life, which is a really good moral, but in the 1964 version, it seems like the moral is that you're allowed to use people when you need them, otherwise they're not important.
Great moral.
And he wasn't just a dick to Rudolph. Do you guys remember that that scene where Santa's just sitting there and they've got an elf choir in front of him and they're singing that ho 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 we are Santa's elves, that song? He's such an asshole. He just watches them sitting there like, oh well, it needs work, I gotta go. What a fucking asshole! With the additions of the added things that aren't in the actual story from the song, you know, like Hermie as well as the Island of Misfit Toys, even with all of those extra things, I actually felt that everything was very well balanced and paced, and the bits with the Abominable Snowman still scare me to this day, kind of, because it's mostly nostalgia, because I remembered growing up, watching it, it would always show that scene where Rudolph was on the little tiny ice platform floating across the Arctic Sea, and he's saying something, and he's going back to the mainland. You see the dark clouds in the distance, it kind of looks like a snowstorm, and you hear that giant roar from the Abominable Snowman. I still get scared, like I said, only because of nostalgia. And you know what, this is cliche, kind of, but the songs are still amazing. They still sound great to this day, and they are songs that will never leave our conscience. And actually, speaking of the songs, I actually forgot to mention Sam the Snowman earlier, who's played by Burl Ives. And, I mean, what can I say? He narrates the audience through this journey, and he does a really good job. And of course, his golden voice, whether it's singing or talking or whatever, is always a plus. The animation was done by Rankin Bass, and its trademark stop-motion animation process that they called Animagic. Now, I don't actually like Rankin Bass animation. It's always bothered me in other movies like Little Drummer Boy, but honestly, when it's done in their Christmas films like Rudolph or Santa Claus is Coming to Town, I don't know, it for some reason just doesn't bother me as much. The animation style really works with Christmas. And I only complain about that a little bit because I'm one of those people that most forms of stop-motion most forms of stop-motion animation actually hurt my eyes, especially if it's like one of those ones where it just looks like this. Not like Kubo and the Two Strings. That's a stop-motion animation movie that I can get into, mainly because they were able to incorporate CGI with the stop-motion, so it actually didn't hurt my eyes. In the end, I still think Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer is fantastic. Really, my only issues, as I said, were the questionable moral of the story, as well as Santa Claus. I am going to give Rudolph 4.5 reels. Well, that'll do it for me. Thank you so much for joining me once again on my new Christmas series. I will be coming out with a few more soon, but until then, please subscribe if you haven't already for more reviews and content. And just, as I said, thank you so much for watching, and farewell until the next video. Bye, guys.